start our recording. And hopefully, if you were in school yesterday, I want to know if anyone that was in school face-to-face yesterday used the life strategy that we used yesterday for your learning today. Oh, Tanya, that makes me sad. Shaking your head no. We're doing it in school so that you do it at home. Who was in school yesterday that could tell everyone what we did in hopes for you to use it at home before you get started with your work? You remember, Tanya? Go ahead, tell us.
We wrote down what we were going to do, and then as we did it, we checked it off.
Very good. So we looked at your Schoology page for math, and yesterday we saw multiplication quiz, number 1, multiplication quiz, number 2, rounding lessons, number 3, fact practice. And we wrote that on a Post-it. And then as we worked through those things, we checked it off so we knew what we had for homework. If you are coming back to school, who remembers what your homework is going to be every single night for the rest of these 90 days? Carson?
Fact practice.
No.
I know.
Carter?
Charge our computers.
Making sure your device is charged. If you are coming to school tomorrow, please make sure your device is charged up tonight. We have minimal plugs in the room. So if you have battery life, if it lasts the whole day, you're going to be in great shape because we are using your computers in all of your classes from now on. So that's why you're to bring your device to school.
I'm actually charging my computer right now.
Great. Keep your charger in your backpack just in case it dies. We can plug it in during lunch. The best case scenario is to catch it before it totally turns off, because then you'll be like Riley sitting in the coat room rebooting her computer like yesterday, right, Riley? We're going to try to catch it before it dies completely. Okay, so before we get started, does anyone have any questions for me? Who can tell me what the lesson 11 video was about? Give me a little summary. What did you learn? Oh, I don't see many hands. That makes me sad. Ilea.
Like rounding?
No.
I know what it is.
What was it, Sunny?
It was making connections among multiplication strategies.
Okay, well, you looked at a lot of different multiplication strategies. So now we're going to put it all together. This is how the next couple weeks are going to go. This week is a lot of review. Next week, we are finishing up with some multi-step problems. Then you're going to be taking a mid-module assessment. If you were in college, it would almost be called a midterm. So it's going to be up everything that we've been learning in the second quarter in module 3. So these new books that you got, let's say module 3, we're halfway through it. So not next week, but the week after, very early in the week, you're going to be taking the mid-module assessment. Zoe, are you listening? All right, let's try to focus. And then do you guys remember taking that online test? It was NWEA. We took one for math, one for reading. They're making us take those again. What are we hoping to see when you take the test again? What do you think?
Focus.
Tegan?
Improvement.
Growth, your personal growth. So you're going to be able to see where you were when we took those tests a couple months ago. And our goal is for you to go up. That doesn't mean every single person here has to get 100% on it. That's not growth. Growth is looking at where you personally were back in October and seeing where you are. It's probably the beginning of February. We want to see if you've grown. And that doesn't just mean learning new things. It also means having a deeper understanding of things you know, like numbers. Chase, you need to have someone call the school today and order you a laptop because you need a device in school.
Okay.
Okay. Olivia, yes, I did get you. Thank you. Okay, so that's kind of where we're going. So you should have, so already today, you should have watched the lesson 11 video, and then we're doing the must do problems together. So I'm going to share my screen with you. Everyone should be open to page 57, please. 57. Tyler, read the directions for us on page 57, please.
Solve the following expressions using the standard algorithm, the partial products method, and the area model.
Very good. Okay, so let's look at letter A. Let's have Sunny read letter A for me, the equation.
425 times 4.
So Sunny, we're going to use this rectangle here. And what do we remember about the area model? What is the formula for finding area?
Length times width.
Good job, Sunny. And do you remember when you find area, what that means? What are you measuring?
The inside of whichever shape you're doing.
Very good. The inside. So Sunny, I'm going to walk you guys through this first one. So we're going to take this number 425, and I want you to break it up into expanded form for me. How would we do that?
400 plus 20 plus 5.
Very good. So we're taking each of these place values, giving the value, and now we're going to put them over here. So this box, we're going to write 400 above it. This box, we're going to write 20, that value, and this one, 5.
What page is it again?
57. So now we have our number in expanded form. So now we're going to take what we're multiplying it by and make that our width. Okay, Tegan. Now we want to find the value of each of these sections. So just like using a multiplication chart, what problem or what equation would we solve in this rectangle? Tegan, unmute yourself.
400 times 425 plus times 4.
No, you don't have 425 here. We're
400. 400
times what? It's just like a multiplication chart. Take the numbers from the sides.
0.
No, there's no 0 here.
4.
400 times 4. Tegan, did you watch the video today?
I didn't know there was one today.
Well, we've been doing the same thing every day since the beginning of the year. So remember, and I put a message on Schoology. All your dojos should have gotten it yesterday, reminding you to watch the video. Because if you would have watched it, you already should have some background knowledge. And this should not be brand new. You shouldn't be jumping into the practice. You should have some background knowledge first. So now when we multiply this, Tegan, what would we do? How would we make this long, big number model easier for us to manage?
Cross out the zeros and put them in your answer.
Okay.
And do 4 times 4, which equals 16.
Very good. Okay, Carter, what would I solve in this box?
$20 times 4.
All right, tell me what to do.
Take out the 0 and put it in your answer. And then do 2 times 4, which equals 8. And then your answer would be 80.
Very good. And let's have Soren. Tell me what I would do in this box.
you will do 4 times 5.
Is?
20.
Okay. So now I hope everyone should be writing all this down. Now you'll see down here, what you're actually doing is you're multiplying 4 times 400, which we did here. Then you're multiplying 4 times 20, which we did here. And then 4 times 5, which we did here. Someone that did watch the video, who can tell me what property that represents? When you have one number and you're distributing it to each of the numbers in expanded form. If you know, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and tell me.
Distributive property.
Who was that?
Finn.
Who?
Finn.
Finn. Gold star for today. This is the distributive property. Write that down, especially if your name is not Finn and you didn't know. That's an example of the distributive property. Something that you'll learn a lot about later in life, but we're exposing you to it now. Tyler, did you write that down? I didn't see your pencil moving at all. So this shows you exactly what we did up above. So we multiply 4 by 400, 4 by 20, and 4 by 5. But guess what? We still don't have an answer. How can I use all of this to find an answer to the question 425 times 4? What can I do to solve? Colin?
Add what you got for each square together to determine your answer.
All right, so we're going to take our 1600, 80, and 20. Make sure you line up your place value. Colin, add up my ones, please.
0 plus 0 plus 0 is 8 plus 2 is 0 is 10. So
Okay.
put down the 0, carry the 1. 1 plus 6 is 7. 1 plus nothing is 1.
Very good. So our final answer is?
1,700.
Very good. Okay, so now we need to use another method to check our work. And it does say all three, but we'll rotate back and forth for each of these. Bella Watkins, do you want to use the traditional method or partial products to check our work?
Partial products.
Okay, so Bella, I'm going to rewrite this problem. And what's the first thing that I need to do?
Add your work line.
All right. And then what's my first partial product?
4 times 5.
Equals?
Shh. 20.
Next?
4 times 20.
Equals?
80.
And last?
4 times 400 equals 1,600, which is 1,600.
Very good. Now, Bella, once I have all of my partial products, what do I do next?
You put them all over to the other side lined up.
Good job. I'm so glad you remembered to say line them up. Now let's add them up, Bella. 0 plus 0 plus 0.
0.
2 plus 8.
10. So 0 and carry the 1.
1 plus 6.
7.
1 plus nothing.
1.
Final answer?
1,700.
Does that match what we got last time?
Yes.
Yep. Then here's our area model. Here's partial products. Okay, so far, any questions? Okay, Hunter, you ready to help me with the next one?
Did you say my name?
Yes.
Ah.
Okay, letter B, 534 times 7. Hunter, tell me, let's actually start over here this time. We're going to use the traditional standard method. So I'm going to write 534 times 7, and you're going to tell me how to solve.
All right. Okay. So first, 7 times 4 is 28. Put the 8 down and carry the 2.
Mm-hmm.
7 times 3 is 21. Plus 2 is 23. So put down the 3. Put another 2 up there. 7 times 5 is 35. Plus 2 is 37. So put down 7 and down the 3 in front of it.
For a final answer of?
3,738.
Very good. Okay, Reese, can you unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Reese, do you remember what model this is called over here when we're using the rectangle?
Isn't it called like, I forget what it was called, but
Look
I
up in
remember
the directions. You have some options. Standard, partial products, or area model.
area model.
There you go. Okay, Reese, you're going to help me get set up. What do I put above these 3 boxes in the area model?
You put the numbers that you're breaking it apart. So we'll do 500 and then 30 and then 4.
Very good. So you broke up our number using expanded form. Now what goes on our width?
7.
Okay, so down here we see we're going to use the distributive property and multiply 7 by what first, Reese?
500.
And then?
30.
And then?
4.
Very good. So that's another way you could see this equation represented. Down here, they kind of gave us some hints up top and they're slowly taking them away. So now, Reese, I want you to look at this box. This box actually matches up with the equation that's going to go right here. If I, just like a multiplication chart, if I bring this number down and this number over, what equation do I solve in this box?
500 times 7.
Very good. But now when you look down here, they are going to switch the numbers around because 7 is what you're going to use 3 times. So we can go ahead and put 7 in all 3 of those spots. Because we know the 7, there's only 1 number going across. We have 3 coming down. So the 7's doing a lot of work. Okay, Reese, tell me how to solve 7 times 500.
So you take off the 2 zeros and put them in your answer, and then you do 5 times 7, which equals 40.
No. Count by 5.
35.
There you go. Okay,
And then-
Noah. Good job, Reese. What goes here, Noah? What goes in this box?
30.
30 times what?
30 times 7.
Okay. Solve it.
Sorry, Miss Subchick. My internet was low, so it kept kicking me out.
Okay. Go ahead, Noah. Solve it.
Cross out the 0 and put it in your answer.
Okay.
And then 3 times 7 is 21.
Good. So then down here, we're going to fill in, we did 7 times 30. Jack, what do I do next?
Then you do 4 times 7,
Equals?
28.
Good. Now we're going to fill in 7 times 4 down here. Same equation, just different ways to represent it. This shows you how the 7 gets distributed to each of these numbers. Peyton, what do I do next?
Then what you're going to do is check your work by doing another problem.
Well, we're not checking our work yet. We don't have an answer. How are we going to get an answer for the area model?
Partial
So,
product.
plus 210 plus 28.
Good. We're going to take each of these Line them up by place value, nice and neat. And go ahead and solve that for us, Peyton.
Okay, 0 plus 8 equals 8. 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 2 equals 3. 5 plus 2 plus 0 equals 7. And bring down to 3,000, and then your final answer is 3,738.
Does that check with our traditional method?
Oops.
Oops, what?
I forgot which one I was going to use. I forgot.
Well, we solved it here using the traditional method. We solved it here using the area model. Do they match?
They do match.
They do. So we should be very confident that we're correct. Okay, Nina, we're going to move on to letter C. I'm going to let you choose. Nina, do you want to solve using the area model, partial products, or traditional?
Traditional.
Okay, so I'm going to write the problem over here. And then you can tell me what you would like me to do.
So you do 8 times 9, which equals 72. And then you do,
I
and
put
so you
down
put down
the,
2, carry your 7. You do 8 times 0, which equals 0, but add your 7. So it's 7. Then you do 8 times 2, which is 16. So your answer is 1,672.
very good. So now we have to fill in our area model over here. Who haven't I heard from yet? Let's have Sarah. Tell me how I would fill in this rectangle using the area model.
So you put the 7 times 200.
Why 7 times 200?
Oh, I meant 8 times 200.
Okay, I need you to help me fill in this rectangle first. We're not going to do any multiplication until we have our rectangle labeled. So do you want to label the length or the width first? What was
The
it?
length.
Okay. How do you want to label this box?
200.
Okay, so we're taking 209 and breaking it up in an expanded form. How would we label this box?
7. I meant 8. I keep mixing it up. 8.
No, you're going to take this number 209 and you're going to break it up into expanded form. So we know that the value of 2 is 200. The value of 0 is 0. What's the value of the 9 in the ones place?
9.
So this would be labeled with a 9 because if I add 200 plus 9 together, Sarah, what would I get?
209.
And that's exactly what I started with. So now how would my width be labeled?
I accidentally hit mute. 8.
Very good. Okay, Orlando, you ready to help me?
Can I do it?
Ready, Orlando?
Yep.
All right. What would I solve in this box?
200 times 8.
Okay, what should I do?
Cross up the 2 zeros and put them in your answer. And then 8 times 2 equals 16.
Great job. Brian, what would I do in this box?
Can I do 9 times 8?
Is your name Brian?
No.
All right, wait your turn. Come on, Brian, unmute yourself. Click the button. What do we do in this box? Brian, are you there?
I think he's trying to talk. You just can't hear him.
No volume. Okay, Finn, what do I do here?
8 times 9.
Equals?
72.
Okay, Carter, what do I do next?
Add them together.
And what's them?
The answers,
What are they?
products,
What are the numbers?
1,672. And then you would do 0 plus 2 equals 2. And then 0 plus 7 equals 7. And then 6 plus nothing equals 6. And then 1 plus nothing equals 1.
Okay, so we have a final answer of 1,672 using the traditional method. We also had 1,672. Who thinks that they could fill in this equation using the distributive property like we did right above? See if you've caught on to the pattern. Elijah, what would that equation be?
Eight, and then 200 plus 9.
Very good. So now, Elijah, how would I use the distributive property to distribute the 8 to each of those factors?
8 times 200, and then 8 times plus 8 times 9.
Very good. And if you notice, that's exactly what we did up here. We did 8 times 200 plus 8 times 9. And we took both of those answers and added them together. Very good. Eventually, you guys will learn how to go straight from this to getting an answer, and you won't even have to use the area model. Okay, I'm going to open up the screen so I can see everyone. If you have any questions about these 3 methods, please go ahead and unmute yourself and ask. Anyone? Okay, I'm going to flip the page, and we have 2 problems to solve, number 2 and number 4. Hayden Garland, go ahead and read number 2, the directions.
Solve using the partial products
method. So Hayden, how do we have to solve number 2?
Using the traditional method.
You just read it. Reread it and tell me what we have to use to solve number 2.
Partial product method.
Partial product. So go ahead and underline, highlight, box that in so you know we need partial products. Maria, read us number 2 about Kayla.
Kayla's school has 258 students. Janet's school has 3 times as many students as Kayla's. How many students are in Janet's school?
So Maria, let's dive in here and look closely. What do we know about Kayla's school?
Her school has 258 students.
Okay, so I'm going to write that down, and I'm going to write Kayla 258. Maria, what do we know about Janet?
Janet's school has 3 times as many students as Kayla's school.
Okay, so do we have an exact number for how many people are in Janet's school?
No.
Did they give us any information that can help us find an answer?
Yeah.
What can we do to figure out how many kids are in Janet's school?
We can multiply 258 times 3.
Very good, because it tells us 3 times as many. So in the end, Maria, we have to report what?
How many students are in Janet's school?
Very good. So we have to solve this to find our answer. Izzy, What method are we going to use to solve this problem?
Traditional.
Nope.
Oh, partial products.
Yeah, it tells it if it tells you solve, you can choose the method. But in this case, you must use partial products. So I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to draw my work bar, and then Izzy, whenever you're ready, you can tell me what to do to solve. Noah, are you writing all this down?
So first you want to do 3 times 8.
Yep.
Which equals 24. So you put down 24.
Yep.
Then you do 3 times 50. And 3 times 5 equals 15, and add the 0, it's 150. So you put that down.
So far, so good.
And then you do 3 times 200. And 3 times 2 equals 6, and add the 2 zeros, and you get 600. And then you add them up, and you do 4 plus 0, which is 4. 2 plus 5 plus 0, which is 7. And 1 plus 6, which is 7 again. And you get 774 students.
Very good. So I'm going to write students here. I'm going to circle my answer, and then I'm going to go ahead and add it up here so I have a complete equation. 774 students. Okay, number 4, we have a new set of directions. Tessa, read the directions for number 4.
Solve using the standard algorithm, the area model, the distributive property, or the partial products method.
Wow, wowie, wow, wow. So we have options of the standard algorithm, area model, distributive property, partial products method. So what better way to get some practice than to get into some breakout groups? And we're going to try. One group's going to be in charge of standard algorithm. One group's going to be in charge of the area model. One group that's going to have Miss Jameson in it, it's going to be in charge of the distributive property. And one group is going to be in charge of partial products. So when I put you, I'm going to actually make the breakout groups right now. We're only going to have 4, so they're going to be large, 9 to 10 people per room. I'm going to tell you which method you're using, okay? So listen for your name. Room 1, you are going to be using the standard traditional algorithm. Room number 1, Bella Watkins, Hayden Waitman, Briley with a B, Colin, Hayden Garland, Carson, Julian Pletcher, Sarah, Tyler, Zoe. You're all using standard algorithm. So if I just called your name, circle the word standard algorithm next on number 4 so you know that's what you're using. Room 2 is going to do the area model. So you're going to be drawing a rectangle. Room 2 is, if I call your name, circle area model. Carter Sefchuk, Ilea, Izzy, Jack, Orlando, Riley, Tegan, Trace, Maria. You're all doing area model. Group 3, if I call your name, you're going to circle distributive. Miss Jameson, Hunter, Nolan, Olivia, Soren, Sunny, Tanya, Finn. And we have someone observing us, Piper from Pitt, so she's going to be in that group also, just listening to all your math thinking. And group 4, if I call your name, you're going to be doing partial products. Cooper, Brian, Chase, Elijah, Nina, Noah, Peyton, Reese, Tessa. And I'm going to jump from group to group to see if you need help and also to see who's going to get some badges today. Before I open the rooms, does anyone have any questions?
Can we pick like who's gonna be doing the doing the problem for the group?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, we'll probably be in these groups for about, I'd say 3 to 5 minutes. Remember, when you see the 60-second warning, it doesn't mean you have to come right out. It means you have 1 minute to finish up. Okay, go to your rooms.
Okay, so
with the area model, what you have to do is first make the area model, and since we're doing 5,131 times 7, you have to first draw it, and it's like a square thing.
Yeah, like 4 squares, basically, but like they're all connected.
Yes.
And
so
the first one's
you're gonna
big,
have
the
to.
second one's a little smaller. The
Yes.
third one's a little smaller than that, and then the last one's really small.
Yeah, it keeps on getting smaller and smaller.
Squares.
Can't make uneven lines.
Okay. And then we like write it down at the top. It's like 5,000 and like 100.
Yes, because we have to.
5,000.
This is stressful.
Yeah. Okay.
So 5,000 plus 100 plus 30 plus 1.
I know what
And then we
5,000
put, like-
times 7 is.
And on the side, you put the 7. So first, where do we start? Which place?
The thousands.
That's right.
I know what 5,000 times 7 is.
Do it.
It's 35,000.
Yeah. So put in
Well,
that
first
box.
let's check it. So
Why are we tracking?
I did the work, and then that's my, you know what.
okay. And then let's just do it and then see if
Yeah, how did you get 100?
Well, it's not right, but it's not just 100. It's not 7 times 5,000 plus 100. We need another multiplication problem in parentheses. What's our next one? We're distributing it. We took the 7 times 5,000. Now we do the 7 times
100.
Correct. That has to be in parentheses. 7 times 100. And then what's my next operation? Olivia. What do I have to put right after the parentheses? Right after that multiplication problem? I have to do another what? Are you there? Show yourself, honey.
But this is my mom's tablet and the picture doesn't really work well.
Okay, well, okay, if the picture doesn't work well and you're still listening to me, I have 7 times 5,000 plus 7 times 100 plus
7 times 30.
Correct. Plus, what's my last multiplication problem? I know I can't really fit it here, but I'm going to go under here. Finn.
Then you do 7 times 1.
7 times 1, correct. Whew. Let's figure out the answer. We have to add all those products up. What's 7 times 5,000? Nolan.
is 9 times 6?
54.
Correct. Bella, you don't want any questions asked, so I'll skip over. Briley, what is 10 times 7?
7.
Brain is fried.
Do it like we always do. And then put like the numbers at the top. Like 5,100. Like look back on these pages and we kind of like looked back and like saw.
Holy.
I did that and like saw
When
what
you
we
guys are
usually
done,
did.
be ready to share. My room is so messy right now.
Who's going to?
I'm ready to
I
share.
got
Were you guys all in the same group? No, okay. Here comes everyone.
Whew. I think I'm sweating, Mr. Shav.
Does that mean your group wants to go first, Miss Jamison?
It might take us the rest of the time to explain it.
Okay, who did you nominate? Who's gonna do your explaining?
I don't think I really nominated. Let's see who, I don't know. I have either Hunter, Nolan, Olivia, Soren, Sunny, Tanya, Finn. You pick somebody.
Sunny, what's the first thing I need to do if I'm gonna be using the distributive property?
We have to put 5,131 into expanded form.
Okay,
That would be 5,000 plus 100 plus 30 plus 1. Then you would do 5,000 7 times 5,000.
okay, so now we know that we need to multiply 7 by all of this. So you're gonna do it, you're gonna do our first, did you set it up where, did you do it like this and then go ahead and multiply each of them? Like that? Okay, so your first multiplication problem would be what?
7 times 5,000.
Okay. And I'll put that in parentheses so I know it stays together. Then
7 times 100.
good. Then
7 times 30.
good. And finally
7 times 1.
okay, now Sunny, pick someone else in your group. I forget who else was in there to do the next step for me.
Nolan.
Okay, Nolan. So when I multiply 7 times 5,000, how many zeros do I take off?
3.
I'm going to put those in my answer. What's 7 times 5,000? I'm sorry, 7 times 5?
35.
Okay, and then I'm going to add to that 7 times 100.
700.
And then I'm going to add to that 7 times 30.
Uh, 210.
And then I'm going to add to that 7 times 1.
7.
Okay, now sometimes you might have a problem that's very easily laid out, like 700 plus 20 plus 1, 721. But this one I think is hard to do mentally. So I'm going to recommend rewriting this, lining up all your place value. Then Nolan, calling someone to finish from your group to finish it up for us. Today, Nolan.
I can't.
Soren, I think you're in that group. Soren, add up my ones for me.
It is 0 because there are 0.
0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 7 equals? Not 0.
Seven.
Now add up my tens. 0 plus 0 plus 1.
It is 8.
Nope. 0 plus 0 plus 1. What's 0 plus 1?
1.
Now we have 0 plus 7.
0 plus 7 is 7.
Plus 7 plus 2.
It is 9.
5 plus nothing.
Right. 5.
Please take whatever's in your mouth out. That's rude. 3 plus nothing.
3.
Now I need something to help me read this big number, Soren. What do I need to add to this big number?
A comma in between the 5 and the 9.
Okay, Soren, what's our final answer?
It is 35,917.
Okay, now we'll see if we match using partial products. Who's in the partial products group?
I am.
Okay, I'm going to rewrite the problem. And then I think that was Chase. Chase, tell me what to do first.
Add 7 times 1, which equals 7.
I'm not
Put
ready.
your work bar down.
There you go. We're not ready yet. Now you can tell me what to do first.
7 times 1 equals 7. 7 times 30 equals 210. 7 times 100 equals 700. 7 times 5,000 equals 35,000. And then you add them
Okay,
all
hold on.
up.
Chase, I want you to call on someone else from your group to tell me what to do next.
Reese.
And then you put all the numbers in your problem.
Okay, so now I'm going to transfer these, making sure I line them up. So I have my ones, tens, hundreds. And still I have hundreds. Now I go into the 10,000. So I want to make sure all my digits are lined up. A lot of the problems I saw yesterday on the quizzes were sloppy lining up, and that's where the mistakes were. Not the multiplication, not the addition. There were mistakes because the numbers weren't lined up. Okay, Reese, add up my ones column. 7 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0.
7.
1 plus 0 plus 0.
1.
2 plus 7 plus 0.
9.
5 plus nothing.
5.
3 plus nothing.
3.
I count 1, 2, 3 over, comma, for a final answer of
35,917.
All right, let me look back. So far, we have the same answer 2 times. Gonna flip over. We're gonna do the standard method next. Someone from the standard method. Traditional. Unmute yourself.
I'll do it.
Okay, Zoe. What's my first step?
So you have to do 7 times 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that equals 7.
Great.
And then 3 times 7. That equals 21.
So I put down
You put down the 1 and then you carry the 2.
Yep.
And then what you do next is 7 times 1 again.
Uh-huh.
But then you carry the 2, so then that equals 9.
So you add that 2.
And then 7 times 5 equals 35. You put the 35 down, and you put the comma in the middle of the 5 and the 9.
For a final answer of?
35,917.
And looks like that matches our other 2. One more, my area model group. What do I do first?
So first what you do is you make the square thing.
Not a square, this is a rectangle.
Oh yeah, rectangle.
Because we need one side longer than the other. Okay?
And then since it's 5,131 times 7, you have to make 4 boxes.
Okay, so in my length, this is where I need to break up my 5,131. So I need a thousands place, a hundreds place, a tens, and a ones. And like I kind of try to, it's not mine's not perfectly drawn to scale, but I made my thousands a little bigger, my hundreds a little smaller, and then my tens a little smaller, then my ones a little smaller. Okay. Now, how do I break 5,131 into the values of each for expanded form?
It's 5,000 plus 100 plus 30 plus 1.
Okay, so I have my length labeled. How do I label my width of my rectangle?
7.
Good. Is he calling someone to give me the partial product or the equation that goes in this box?
Let me see.
From your group, someone that you work with.
Sorry, that's my brother. Jack, I see your hands up.
Okay, Jack, what goes in this box, honey?
So you do 7 times 5,000. And then you cross out the 3 zeros and put them in your answer.
Great.
And then you do 7 times 5, which is 35.
Okay, Jack, calling someone to do the next box, please.
Maria.
Okay, then you do 100 times 7. You cross off the zeros, put them in your answer. Then you do 1 times 7, and that equals 7.
Okay,
so
we're calling someone for the next box.
Riley.
Now you do 30 times 7. Cross off your 0 and 30 and put it in your answer. 7 times 3 is 21.
Okay, Riley, calling someone else from your group.
Tegan.
You do 1 times 7, which equals 7.
Okay, Tegan, calling someone else to finish it up for us. Is there anyone left?
Reese, I think she was in our group. Oh.
Who else was in the area model group? Unmute yourself if you're in an area model. Who's me?
Carter.
Okay, Carter, what do I do to solve, to finish it up?
Then you would do, wait, they already do 1 times 7?
Look at the paper.
Yeah. Then you would add them all up.
Okay, so I need to rewrite all of my answers. 35,000, and then 700, and then 210, and 7. Okay, Carter, 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 7.
7.
0 plus 0 plus 1.
1.
0 plus 7 plus 2.
9.
5 plus nothing.
5.
3 plus nothing.
3.
Final answer?
35,917.
Wow, look at that. 4 different ways. And we all got, how can I zoom out? All got the same answer. That was great. Look at that. 4 different ways. So, boys and girls, you see, you have all of these options now. Hopefully, I bet you could probably rate these in order from I feel most confident to I feel least confident. I think mine would probably go partial products, standard, area, distributive. So if I had a choice, I've been back in the day, I probably would have picked standard, but now that I use partial products so much, that'd probably be my number 1. So if a question says solve, you get full autonomy. That's a fancy way of saying you have full control. You get to pick which one. But Izzy, if a question says use partial products, what must you use?
Partial products.
There you go. You always want to refer back to the directions. That's why we've been doing all this good test taking skills, good study skills, highlighting, underlining. Does anyone have any questions about these 4 methods? Next week, you're going to be solving tough word problems, multi-step. It's not going to tell you use this method to solve. So that's why this week we're focusing on using all different ones so that next week you feel very prepared. The last thing that we're going to do, if there aren't any questions, I'm going to hop over, if I can get it up here, to my Schoology page. And we're going to go over our to-do list to see what you have to do. Today's Wednesday. If you didn't watch the lesson video, you need to go back and watch it after class because you're going to end up becoming very lost from not watching the instruction. So you have your checklist should be number 1, video. 2, the must-do problems. Everyone that's here can check that off their list because they did it. Number 3 are your Map Accelerator rounding lessons. You should have started this yesterday. There are 8 things on Map Accelerator. Some of them you might have did yesterday. Maybe you did them all yesterday. They have to be finished today. These practice sections are graded. Remember, you get report cards next week. So I got to see who remembers rounding.